9 times out of 10, if you're just firing from the hip when you're going to flip a property, you're going to get absolutely crucified.
Welcome to the Cowles Ventures Podcast.
Well, thanks for coming on. This has been kind of a long time coming, but thanks for being flexible and all that. So I appreciate you guys making some time for this. But yeah, I mean, if you just start out with who you are, what you do, all that jazz, and then we can kind of just go from there.
My name's Matt. I run a company called Project Spokane. Project Spokane, we are traditional real estate agents, and we just help people primarily find fix and flip properties or rental properties, and we really help that investor. Long term, what I like to say is I want to invest in companies that make Spokane better. Right now that's my company and then my clients' companies, and then eventually it'd be cool to invest in other companies. So cool. That's what I want to do. And
how did you end up on his team? Because you kind of had your own, you have your own episode. If people don't know, they can go watch that. So we won't go too deep into that.
You want to learn about sushi, go watch my episode.
But you had a bunch of businesses before this, but now are working with Matt.
Yeah. So I found Matt through another boot camp. I was in the process of selling my restaurant, and I was like, I'm gonna have this chunk of change coming out. I don't know what to do with it. Huh. And I am obsessed with the idea of having money make money.
Sure.
Because I've always worked for money my entire life, and throw money in the stock market and then let it do its thing, and hopefully it is up when you go to sell it, when you get it. It's okay, I'm down for that, but I'd like to have more control over it, and I'd like to be investing here locally rather in things that I can control versus in a 401k where someone else is playing big kid games that I don't know or trust or whatever. So I took a financial advising boot camp, which was enlightening, and then Matt was one of the speakers at that boot camp. Okay. And he talked about investing in real estate, which is something I've always liked the idea of, but never really knew how to get into it. And he's like, oh yeah, we've got this boot camp coming up next week. You need to do it. It's free. There will be food. That's what sold me. But I showed up and it just boggled my mind. The idea that you can buy houses, renovate them, and flip them all within a very accessible process that is his process. It was ground shaking. And that kind of opened my eyes to there being other ways to have money make money. And so I pitched Matt on a business idea, and he's like, let's do it. Do you want to do all of it? And I was like, yes, absolutely. I want to do all of it. Let's go. And then it didn't pan out like we wanted it to. But he's like, we should do more of this, but on my team. And I was like, sounds great. Let's do it. So I work business development. We're developing systems and processes within Project Spokane to help produce a more consistent result.
Okay. Yeah, I guess a question for you is when you're talking with people and they're like, well, I have this chunk of investable capital, but I could put it in the stock market, or I could put it into retirement or into, XYZ. I feel like for most people, it's either stocks or real estate are kind of the two most mainstream investing strategies. How do you defend the real estate approach?
Yeah, I feel like anything past those two things just gets weird, right? It just gets weird. It gets uncommon.
The crypto bros, they're pitching you on their fund. That's for sure going to work out.
Yeah.
For sure going to work out.
Invest in their $10,000 course to tell you how to invest, right? Yeah. I don't know. Just real estate, when you look at it, it's we're appreciating an asset. You can go history by history, and there's been the fallout of 2008 and stuff like that, but then still look at it today, right? So the way I look at it is real estate's more of an active revenue source, whereas stocks are more passive, right?
Yeah.
But there's actually pretty good ways to become more passive in real estate, just investing in other people's projects, or partnering up with people and just being the capital partner and things like that, right? So I don't know. I live and breathe real estate, so I'm gonna defend the heck out of real estate. But dude, this is a whole different thing we can get into. The longer I'm in real estate, the more likely it is I'll probably just throw a lot more of my money into stocks and use real estate as more of a tax strategy than anything else.
Okay.
Because long-term rentals are not the game that people think they are, man.
I obviously am not the expert that you are, but I got deep into the whole BRRRR methodology strategy over COVID, and I was this is my way out. Like, I'm going to do this. And then in like 10 years, I will have like 20 houses. No big deal. Turns out harder than you think it is.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. And so it was like, you know, one YouTube video to the next was like, yeah, you just find this house for like $80K. You buy that, and then you find someone to rent it. They're renting it for more than your mortgage is. And then you just keep doing that. And at the time, I was like, obviously, I'll just do that. Turns out you can't really find a house for $80K. So.
Right. Or like you can, but it's like this whole process to find them. And then like, there's just like so many dominoes that have to fall, right? You have to find a house. It's got to be valued right. The seller's got to be willing to take like your price for it.
Yeah.
Mortgage rates have to make sure that it like actually cash flows or at least like breaks even.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our investor clients, if they can make $200 per door, they're like killing it.
Yeah.
But that's $200.
Right.
And then that's 12 months. So you make $2,400 a year. And then like imagine you have a plumbing leak or a plumbing bill or something. There's all of your cash flow gone, right? So it's like real estate is such a great vehicle to, I mean, like, especially Spokane, it's like, it's a great vehicle to appreciate, right? We average like 4 to 5% a year in appreciation. That's great. We appreciate like crazy. Like we have jobs, we have steady jobs too, which is cool in Spokane. So it's like real estate is great in Spokane for like appreciation, like I was saying. If you're flipping houses, like, you know, you can make chunks of 25 to 50K pretty consistently. But when it comes to like owning rentals in Spokane, like, dude, Washington landlord laws suck. You have to be really careful with them. Or they don't, depends on what side you're on, if they suck or not, I guess, right? But Washington landlord laws you have to be super careful for. And then just mortgage rates are so high and purchase prices are so high that it's really hard to make a cash flow.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the times what we preach is like, yeah, that works, but it's like we have to have this bigger look at like the overall strategy of what you really want to do.
Yeah. Because
like, dude, I was like you. I was like, I'm going to buy one house a year for the next 10 years. And that's going to be my entire life. Yeah. And yeah, it's a lot harder when you get into it. So it's just tricky. But the BRRRR, you mentioned, that's our entire boot camp. Is like every single day is basically a step of the BRRRR process. And whether people believe it or realize it or not, that's what we're preaching.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're, I mean, given everything you just said, when you're running people through all these boot camps and like convincing them to be like real estate investors for fix and flips or whatever, like how does that roll when you've kind of just said like, hey, this maybe not is the best place to do it, I guess. But
I don't know that we actually convince people to do it. I think that it's something that people want to be doing. Yeah. And what the bootcamp does really well is give them all the pieces that they don't know that they need.
Yeah.
So it's something that they saw on a podcast, they saw on a YouTube video, they heard their uncle's aunt's dog is doing, and they want to try it. They want to learn more about it. But 9 times out of 10, if you're just firing from the hip when you're going to flip a property, you're going to get absolutely crucified.
Yeah.
It happens so often, and what the bootcamp does a great job of is illuminating those really dark areas that are like, okay, well, how do I do my scope? What does this actually look like? How do I build an exit strategy? It's like, oh, I need an exit strategy before I'm ready to exit. Go figure. But you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
And what the bootcamp does better than, I mean, anywhere that I've seen is give you that roadmap.
Yeah.
And finding people who are interested in traveling that road and arriving at that destination, bootcamp's second to none.
That's why you got hired. Just kidding.
It's a spokesperson right there.
Dude, he really is. I was watching on a boat the other day. Whatever. We got this networking thing. But you asked like how to, like you said convince, I'll just convince, right? Dude, it's just like, here's the opportunities that are in front of you. Do they make sense or not for you?
Yeah.
And like reality is reality, right? Like I always like to joke that like happiness is reality minus expectations, right? So it's just like, dude, if you can live with it, like that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But like Isaac said, like I feel like there's a lot of like maybe false information out there, or this is like preached that it's like so easy, you know, like 6 to 7%, which is hilarious that it's 6-7, but either way, 6 to 7% of people in the United States own a rental property.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
According to my ChatGPT.
But still, I mean, it's like, it's low. I feel like, and maybe it's like the circles that we all are in or whatever, but to me, I feel like everyone's like, oh, I'm looking at this or looking at this or looking at that. And like, I don't know necessarily how successful that is, but like, it's cool to think about for sure. But I mean, like you said, it's like when I've looked at properties in the past, I mean, best case scenario is that it breaks even.
Yeah.
Like if I can find one that does that, it's like, oh, this might be pretty good, you know? And then in 10 years when it's appreciated and I can charge rents and maybe, you know, some stuff has gotten fixed that now is I don't need to fix it anymore. Like that's kind of when you're rolling a little bit more. But I mean, yeah, for a while, I mean, you're not like, you know, rental property to then, oh, I'm making 10 grand a month because the rents are like, you know, out the window, right? Like, I mean,
yeah. Well, it's just, what's your goal? Do you want to replace your W-2 income? Okay, well, like that's going to take a lot of properties at $200 a month to replace your income, right? Depending on your income. That being said, like the Midwest seems to be better for cash flow, but it doesn't appreciate as much.
Yeah.
So it's like when we work with like a lot of investors, it's like, dude, we want to see the big picture of like, what are you really trying to do? Do you just need to make 100 grand a year? Because like that's not rentals. Like that's probably like more flipping or wholesaling or something like that. So we just try to like get a better grip on everything, right? Like the thing that I've been excited about is we've started working with more just high income W-2 earners. And it's like, dude, like, do you want to pay 30 grand in taxes or do you want to make a 30 grand down payment on a house? Which one do you want to do?
Yeah.
If you ask me, you should do a house.
Right there, mind-boggling. Where do you want your tax dollars to go? To the government or to your kids via a rental?
Yeah.
Your choice. Pick it.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
I feel like, and like both my grandpas actually like owned and operated their own businesses, and like I've got friends, you know, parents that do their own thing, and that was like the biggest like aha moment whenever that happened was like, oh, like that's like technically they don't own that, like the business owns that, like that's a tax write-off, or like that cool thing they do, like that was a tax write-off. I'm like, that's wild. And it's like you see all these people, and like I don't know what this stat is, but I read this, and this might maybe not even true either. But it was like all the business owners, like they own and drive like Land Rovers, because it was like it's the heaviest and like most expensive car that you can get, and you like tax write-off for that business or whatever. I was like, that's crazy.
X amount of pounds to be considered a commercial vehicle, and that you could write off 100%. That's absolutely a thing.
Wild.
Yeah, 6,000 pounds. Yeah, dude. So there's like, because everybody has this like, investors own rental properties, and it's like, cool. There's 1,001 things that go into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think like Isaac said, like the boot camp, not to like harp on it too much. Like, dude, we give this all away for free, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's 6 days long. We introduce you to every single like team member you would need, right? So like throughout boot camp, you meet a general contractor, you meet a hard money lender, you meet a conventional lender, you meet a property manager, you meet a bookkeeper, you meet a tax strategist, you meet a financial planner, and then you meet some realtor that tries to get you to buy a house.
It was like that in its own. I mean, like if you were starting from scratch and you like even recognize that you need all of those things, and then the next question is like, okay,
do you want to do it?
How do I like? I'm just googling like general contractor, Spokane, like hard money lender, like, and I'm just calling them like. I mean, God, I mean, you could get down the rabbit hole forever. So
yeah, these are dudes that have been, and girls like that have been in my life I've been doing this for 7.5 years, and it's like some of these guys I met them like year 2. And it's like 5 years of working together, and it's like I just preach it in the boot camp. I'm like, guys, like it took me 7 years to build these relationships to the point where like I can just call them up and be like, hey, I need to do this, and they actually understand what we're trying to do. Yeah. Because if you're an investor and you've worked with realtors before, dude, like no hate on realtors, but like there's just a difference of like understanding what investors really want to do and like need, and like selling the beautiful $600,000 home that the client sold their house the first time in the last 12 years, right. You know? So it's just different. And like, I think that's what we do, which is really cool, is like so many realtors, because I coach realtors too, right? And like, I always tell realtors, I'm like, dude, find like a niche, like find like your avatar, find a niche, and then just like go hard at it, right? Like we work with investors that want to do two to 10 deals a year or scale fast past that. Like that's like who we want to work with. But then we reverse everything that they would need to be able to do 2 to 10 deals. And then we try to solve all the problems before they even have them. And then we just try to provide all the resources to like get them there. Yeah. And it's like just doing that, like, dude, we should sell comfortably like 87 houses this year. And like the goal is 100. And like if we sold everything we're working on, we'd be at 103. Okay. And like 80% of that comes from investors. So it's like, this is all we do. But like, dude, last year, 62% of our deals came from 9 people.
Dang.
So it's like, dude, we don't even have 500 clients. Like we could, but like I want to be able to serve them. You know?
Well, it's probably better for you guys too to have just like a handful of just rock stars versus all these people that you could put theoretically on your email list that are just like, okay, like thanks for sending me that, but like I'm not ready, or it's not the right timing or whatever. Versus like, hey, I've got 5 people that are ready like today. Like you could be like, hey, I found this, like great, here's the check.
Yeah, dude, we did like I didn't cheat, but like I knew I was gonna get a deal. But we did like a 24-hour find a deal challenge. And it's just like, how many realtors could be like, I'm going to sell a house today because I have 15 clients that are going to buy a house if I put like the right opportunity in front of them. Yeah. So it's like, we can do cool stuff like that where it's just like, cool, the next 48 hours, like Matt's doing nothing else but just trying to find a deal. And arguably I should just do this every day. And I know Isaac's cringing over here. Why aren't you just doing this every single day?
That was exactly what was going through the face.
Matt's building a portal, okay? Matt's vibe coding.
Do it.
Matt's vibe coding. Get out of here. Let him be. But yeah, so it's like, it's been cool to like find that niche and then just go heavy on that. And now it's like to the point where like, I mean, I was joking about it, but like we're building our own custom software because it's like, that investor agent relationship needs so many different things than like the traditional CRM provides. Yeah. And like, it's just different, dude. Yeah. And it's just cool.
When you're looking and you're kind of scoping out your client base, like how does that differ for what you're trying to look at in the market of what's available for what's for sale versus how a traditional realtor looks at it of like, hey, you have a family of 4 looking for a whatever house with like these specs. Like, good. How does that differentiate? Or I guess I know how it differentiates you, but like how does your thought process differ from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because like I spend my days trying to find the crappiest houses possible.
Yeah, like that one's way too nice.
Right?
The windows are still on.
Yeah, dude. But it's funny because like once they flip it, then we have like this beautiful thing, and I'm like, what am I doing here?
This is weird. Wait a minute.
So how do we differ? I don't know, dude. Like it's crazy because we look at things like
I'll hit that one.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm so on. So like when you're looking at houses for a retail buyer, this is a big thing that I've been working on recently. Investor buyers versus retail buyers. Retail buyers are looking to love the house that they're in. They're looking at different aspects of the house. Total number of bedrooms, total number of bathrooms, total dollar amount. They're concerned about what their mortgage is going to be. Where on the investor side, it's do the numbers pencil. Yeah. That's it. Do the numbers pencil. Can I make the numbers pencil? What do I need to do to make these numbers pencil? And any investor that isn't having those questions running through their head at all times is probably going to be in trouble here very shortly. Yeah. It's making sure that when you find a deal, everything's a deal at the right price. And it's having those conversations, figuring out, hey, what does this look like? What's your end goal for selling this house? Oh, you do want to sell this house? You need to get out of it in the next 47 seconds. I can make something happen for you. Here's an offer. Yeah. And it's just a frame shift of the traditional retail buyer versus an investor buyer.
Yeah. Makes sense. For sure. It was like hard for me to like understand the retail side of things because I feel like when I was looking at a house, like I was looking at it, but like I was like, I don't have to love this house.
Oh, you were like him.
Dude.
For sure. I was like, I really don't care. Like for people that are like, oh, I want this or want like I get that for sure. Like if I had a family, maybe it'd be different, but like it's just me. So I was like, okay, like literally looking at every house being like, like would this whatever. Like my first house
does it have a finished basement? No.
Like, I want that. Literally. My attic currently unfinished. My basement unfinished. Right? I was like, oh, it's perfect. Like,
yeah, let's go. Let me throw some sweat equity into this. Let's make it happen. See, we're trying to build this class called the Wealth Building Home Buyer, and that's the idea. Is those are the people that we want to serve. It's I want to buy it. I want to live in it, but I don't want to be house poor forever. Like. It doesn't need to have 6 bedrooms, 800 bathrooms, and a walk-in closet the size of a football field. It just needs to have an unfinished basement and the ability to put some kind of effort into turning this around so that it can cash flow later on. Yeah, that's the ideal avatar for that wealth building homebuyer class is how can you buy a house that you aren't going to be chained to for the rest of your life? We want a launch pad for getting to your goal, not something that's going to drag you down for the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah,
for sure. I think we're going to switch gears a little bit here. I mean, when you first started, was it just you? Did you work for a realtor firm? Like, how did that kind of work? And then how did you pivot to then having it be your own and kind of building out that team?
Yeah. I'll give you the long story, right? So I got into real estate when I was 22. I'm getting so old. But yeah, I was like 22. and I was $37,863 in debt. And it was like bad debt too. It was like too much Uber Eats and like just all the things, dude. It was terrible. Like not a smart guy, but either way, salesy. Like I wanted to be like the best salesperson ever. Like that was like my goal. I was like, I want to be like the cream of the crop salespeople. And I was like, that's real estate. Like they're high ticket sales. I was like, I want to do that. Like I would literally like go home and like watch like sales training videos like all the time, right? Even like taking my licensing exam, I would just have it open because you have to do like 90 hours. And I just learned how to like build a brand or like do sales and like stuff like that. Like I'm just obsessed over that type of stuff. So then I got my license after taking my test 7 times and opened the book after the 4th time. So that helped. Turns out the answers were in the book.
First 3 times, you're like, that's crazy. That can't be right.
I was like, I got this.
That's
Dude,
wild.
I missed it by 12, then I missed it by 6, and I was like, math says.
Third time's a charm.
It's like, I got this. But then finally passed it. And then, dude, I thought I was like this. I was such a cocky little shit. Because like I literally walked in, like when you get your license, you choose which brokerage to like kind of align yourself with, right? And I walked into all these places and I was like, my name's Matt. I'm going to sell 53 homes my first year. I think I can do it this way. And like, I had like a whole plan that made absolutely no sense. I still have it. Like some of it was good, but either way. And like some of these broker owners were like, Matt, the average agent sells 6 houses a year. And I was like, cool, not the place for me. Like, sweet. And then I met this guy named Keith Riddle, and Keith didn't blink. He didn't do anything. He's like, go do it. Like, sure. And I was like, you don't want to like tell me I can't do it or something? He's like, why would I say that? It's like, I've been wondering the same thing. Like, and I was like, does anybody here do that? And he was like, that guy. And I was like, do you think they would like let me just talk to them and stuff? And he was like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, that'd be cool. I was like, sick. So I hung my license at that place and then was still in debt. So I had like a part-time job. And then I made you familiar with like ClickFunnels and like landing pages, like stuff like that?
Yeah.
So I made like this ClickFunnel thing, and I partnered up with this lender named Teddy Urlacher, and I made Matt and Ted's Excellent Home Buying Adventure. And I just poorly photoshopped mine and Teddy's face on like Bill and Ted, Steph and Clay Thompson, SpongeBob and Patrick, Jim and Dwight, like any duo that I could think of. And then we just ran the dumbest ads ever. And they went down on Matt and Ted's Excellent Home Buying Adventure, dude. And it worked. And like I got my first deal in like 30 days or something from that.
That's
and
wild.
then I was talking to the broker owner, and he was like, how'd you do that? And I was like, I just made this site, and like I was showing it, and I was like, I'm such a fucking idiot. He was like, that's funny. Like, do you want to do that for the brokerage? And I was like, yes, instantly yes. He was like, cool. So like 10 to 15 hours a week. I think I was making like $1,200 a month or something, like nothing like crazy, right? That turned into like working for like 60 hours a week just on my own accord of like just trying to learn all this stuff and like implement it. So like 6 months into my career, I'm like helping him run a brokerage, recruit agents, do all this marketing stuff. And then he also had a wholesaling and like investing company. He also had like a restaurant. He had all this cool stuff. He had the life I wanted. Yeah. And like, it was just cool to like be with him for like a year of just like every little thing, right? But he had an investing company. So him and his buddy started that. And then I was working for both of them, like indirectly. And then like they started butting heads, felt like my parents were like getting a divorce. And like I had to like choose who to like live with. So then I went off with the other guy. We started a brokerage from scratch, grew that to like 24 agents. We were flipping like 30 homes a year, doing some wholesaling and stuff like that too. Did that for like 2.5 years, grew that to whatever that was. Got recruited to go run a company down in New York, where in New York, we basically built like a franchise of like our investing company. And then we sold that into 4 markets. We were about to go into 6 and 7.
Dang.
And I read a book. It's called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, I think. But either way, that book made me quit my job because I was like, dude, I can't be number 2 anymore. Like I can't keep working for other people. I had no ownership in any of these things. I was like, I think I moved to New York and I was making like $50K a year. And I was like thinking I was balling out because I went from like 1,200 to like whatever, you know?
You're like, this is epic.
Yeah, literally. And then like the guy was like weird with my bonuses and like all this other stuff or whatever, right? So I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. So I went over to New York, and then 6 months later I flew back.
Yeah.
And then that's when I like really kind of came up with the whole like Project Spokane thing. And I had like a doomsday, right? Because I was not making any money up to this point. started working with this other guy, helped him run his team. We kind of had like similar paths, but like he was running a team of like 20 to 30 agents at that time. And then we started an investing company together. He had his team, so I was kind of running those two. We started butting heads. Then I ended up going off and selling houses. This is such a long story. Started selling houses with a girl I was dating. That was honestly awesome, but that just didn't work out long term. Then I went on my own and then flipped houses, had a lending company, had a general contracting company, I had a residential real estate team, tried to do everything, failed miserably because like focus was just,
It's a
so
lot of things.
off. Yeah. And then finally it was just like, okay, screw it. Like after like having to shut down everything, which like, dude, I hope nobody ever has to do this, of like walking into a room of like 10 people that like put their faith in you and having to be like, hey guys, like today's the day I get to tell you that like I'm shutting this down. And that was